good morning children. I hope that you all are safe and sound at your home. Now, in that chapter that we were doing, now the next portion that we will have to do is fertilization. Now, what is fertilization? It is a union of male and female gamete. Now, what is male gamete? As you all know, male gamete is a pollen grain and female gamete is a ovule. It is an ovule which is known as female gamete and pollen grain is known as male gamete. Now, first of all, before I proceed towards the fertilization, I would like to tell you to explain you these structures of the pollen grain as well as ovule. Now, this is the structure of pollen grain. A pollen grain is made up of double layer or double wall. The outermost wall is known as exine, as it is written EXINA, and the innermost is entine. The outermost is exine and innermost is entine. And inside the entine, it has cytoplasm as well as nucleus. Its nucleus gets divided. Once it gets matures, then its nucleus gets divided into tube nucleus and generative nucleus. Alright, so this is the structure of pollen grain. Now let us proceed towards the structure of ovule. As I have told you, ovule is a female gamete. So ovule, it is also covered by 2 or 3 layers, that is known as integument. This one, this outer portion, the layer integument, layer around the ovule is known as integument. Now in the integument there is a pore which is known as micropyle. In integument there is a pore which is known as micropyle. After that, here after the ovule, after the outside this layer integument, then the further that structure comes is nucellus. This nucellus is full of food-laden cells. It is there to nourish the ovule. Okay, this nucellus is full of food-laden cells, and after that there is an embryo sac which consists of different types of cells. Now, in ovule consists of 3 plus 3 plus 1 cells. Now, what are these 3 cells? What are these 3 cells, and what is this one? Okay, so that means in totality we have 7 cells. How? Now, first of all, we have 3 antipodal cells here, 1, 2, 3, and then at the micropylar end, again we have 3 cells. These 2 are synergids, and in the center it has egg cell. So these are 3 plus these are 3. Now here, this cell, this one, center one is known as central cell. This central cell consists of 2 polar nuclei. Alright, so again I am just going to explain this. So it consists of 3 plus 1, that means in totality 7 cells. And what are those? 3 antipodal cells, 2 synergid plus egg cell in the center, so these are also 3 cells, plus 1 central cell which consists of 2 polar nuclei. So it is 3 plus 1. Okay. Now this is the structure of ovule. Now this one you must be seeing this one. This is the pollen tube. When I will be explaining you the diagram of fertilization, then I will be explaining this thing also. Now this is the structure of ovule and this is the structure of pollen grain. Now let's come to the diagram of fertilization and the process of fertilization. What happens in the process of fertilization? So as you all know that fertilization, first of all the pollination occurs, then it leads to fertilization. So what happens in the pollination? Here you can see this is the pollen grain, okay, and this uppermost portion is stigma, and this portion is a stalk-like portion is a style. Alright, and here you can see I have made a pollen tube going inside this micropylar end. Here I have made the diagram of ovule. Here I have made the diagram of ovule along with its ovary, and here I have made stigma and style also. Okay, because this is a diagram for the fertilization, showing you the process of fertilization. That is only the diagram of ovule, showing you the structure of ovule. So here what is happening? The pollination is occurring. First of all, when the pollen grain gets divided, its nucleus. The pollen grain has a nucleus which gets divided into tube nucleus and generative nucleus. Okay. Now here they both have divided. Now what is the function of tube nucleus? It forms the pollen tube, and the generative nucleus is also known as male nucleus. Okay. So this generative nucleus, it gets divided into two more nuclei. Alright. Here you can see what happens when there is a pollination process. The first step in the pollination process is when this pollen grain, it falls on the stigma. Stigma releases sugars. Why does it release that sugar? Because those sugar actually recognizes the pollen grain. If that pollen grain belongs to the same species, then only the pollination occurs. If you remember, I have told you that pollination occurs only between the same species, not in the different species. Alright. So this stigma will release a sugar. Okay, that sugar will recognize the pollen grain whether it belongs to the same species or not, then only the pollination will occur. Then how the pollination will occur? Next step is here, this pollen grain from the outer membrane, exine, from anywhere, okay, it will form a tube-like structure. Here you can see in this diagram that how it has formed a tube-like structure. Here you can see 1, 2, 3 nuclei. Okay, so these two are generative nucleus, and this first one is tube nucleus. As I have told you, this tube nucleus will help in the formation of pollen tube, and also it will release the enzymes. Those enzymes will help in dissolving the tissues which are present in the style, so that this pollen tube can enter inside this micropyle. Alright, now, and this generative nucleus, it will get divided into two male nuclei. They are called as male nuclei or sperm nuclei. So one nucleus gets divided into two. The first one is tube nucleus and the second one is generative nucleus. Then when the pollen tube will be formed, then the tube nucleus will remain like this, but this generative nucleus will get divided again into two, which will be known as male nuclei. So that means in totality, now how many male nuclei do we have? How many nucleus do we have in this pollen tube? We will be having 3 nucleus. So these all 3 nucleus, they are playing their part. Tube nucleus is helping in increasing or formation of the pollen tube, alright, and other 2 generative nucleus, which are also known as male nuclei or sperm nuclei, they will help in the fertilization. Alright. Now, here you can see that the pollen tube has reached in micropylar end, and now it has entered inside the micropyle. Now here you can see I have made only 2 nuclei. These 2 nuclei are male nuclei. And what happened to the tube nucleus? Where it has gone? It has been disintegrated. Why? Because its work was only to form pollen tube and to produce enzymes. Now its work is done because this pollen tube has already entered inside this embryo sac. Okay, this is known as embryo sac. It has entered inside it. Now what will happen to these 2 male nuclei? First male nuclei will enter inside any of these 2 synergids. Okay, and then this synergid will send one male nuclei to the egg cell and another male nuclei to the polar nuclei. Again I am going to repeat myself. I said that these 2 male nuclei will enter inside these synergids. So these synergids will take one male nuclei to egg nucleus, okay, egg cell, and another male nuclei will be taken to the polar nuclei. So the one male nuclei which will be fertilized with the egg cell, it will help in the formation of seed. What did I say? The first nuclei which will fuse with the egg cell, it will help in the formation of seed. And the second male nuclei which will fuse with these 2 polar nuclei of the central cell, they will help in the formation of endosperm. Okay, so how many fertilization, if you have listened to me carefully, then how many fertilizations have occurred? 2. Okay, because one male nuclei has fused with the egg nucleus, another one has fused with the polar nuclei. So 2 fertilization they have taken place. So that's why we call this fertilization as double fertilization. This is very important. That's why this fertilization is known as double fertilization. Another thing. Now, here you can see there are 2 polar nuclei. I said that one male nuclei will fuse with these 2 polar nuclei. So these 2 polar nuclei plus one more male nuclei will make 3 nuclei. Alright. So we call this fertilization as triple fusion also, because here in the central cell 3 nuclei will fuse together for the formation of endosperm. Now what is endosperm? Endosperm is something which provides nutrition to the seed. Okay, because after fertilization in the egg cell, seed is being formed and endosperm is also formed inside the seed, which provides a fertilization to the seed till it germinates. Alright, okay, so this is all about the fertilization process. So I just want to recap it again quickly. So what was the first step in fertilization? The pollination. Okay, the secretion of sugars by the stigma, and then the pollination has started. Then there is a formation of pollen tube from the pollen grain, and from this pollen tube nucleus was helping to form in the formation of pollen tube. And after that, once the pollen tube will be entering inside the micropylar end, the tube nucleus will disintegrate. Now the next work will be done by these 2 male nuclei. One male nuclei will fuse with egg cell to form embryo or to form seed. Another male nuclei will fuse with polar nuclei to form endosperm. So this was the whole process of fertilization. Now what will happen after fertilization? See, I have told you various floral parts. I have told you about the sepals, I have told you about the petals, sepals, petals, stigma, style. What will happen to them? See, petals will also wither off, sepals will also wither off, but sometimes sepals do intact with the fruit. For example, tomato. You must have seen those green color sepals. Sometimes it's still intact with the tomato. So most of the time they wither off, but sometimes they still intact with the fruit. Then these 2 what did I say? I told you the petals and sepals will wither off. Then what will happen to the ovary? Ovary will become the fruit. Okay, ovary is a ripened fruit, and ovary wall, this is the outside, this is the ovary wall. Okay, this is ovary, this is the ovary wall, this is ovule. Okay, I have already explained. So what will happen to the ovary? Ovary will become fruit, and ovary wall will become the outer covering of the fruit. That means it will become the fruit wall. And what will happen to the ovule? Ovule will become a seed. For example, this is ovary wall. Okay, you can see this picture. This is ovary wall. This is a fruit I have taken in my hand. This is ovary wall, and inside this fleshy portion, what is it? This is the ripened ovary. Okay, and if you can see the seeds inside it, you can see the seeds. What is this? This is ovule. Alright, these are ovule. This structure, ripened ovary, which we eat is ovary. Okay, this is fruit, ovary, and this outer one, outer hard covering around the fruit wall, it is ovary wall. Now what happened to the structures which are present inside the ovule? What happened to the antipodal cells? Antipodal cells, they get disorganized. Polar nuclei, as I have told you, they changes into endosperm or cotyledon. And egg cells, I have told you that they form the embryo part. Alright, or they form the seed. So this is the whole process of fertilization and fate of their floral parts. So this was the final part of this chapter. I hope that you all are watching videos and trying to understand these all videos. And next chapter that we are going to start soon is seed. Till then, goodbye and take care. Thank you.